What if building an app started less like writing code and more like describing an idea to a very fast assistant? That is the promise and the problem behind vibe coding. Vibe coding means using natural language to guide an AI system that writes code for you. Instead of typing every function by hand, you describe what you want. The AI creates files, fixes errors, and suggests changes while you steer the result. The idea exploded because modern AI coding tools can do more than autocomplete a line. They can build a small web page, connect a database, explain an error, and rewrite parts of a project after a simple prompt. That makes software creation feel much closer to conversation. The phrase is widely linked to AI researcher Andrej Karpathy, who used it in early 2025 to describe a loose way of building with AI, where you lean into the flow and let the model handle much of the code. Since then, the phrase has become a shorthand for a bigger shift. This is not just a funny internet label. Collins Dictionary named vibe coding its 2025 Word of the Year, which shows how far the term moved beyond developer circles. Still, a popular phrase does not automatically mean a finished practice. The meaning is still being debated. Imagine you want a tiny app that tracks your daily reading. In old-school coding, you might choose a framework, create files, design the screen, write logic, and debug everything. With vibe coding, you might start by saying, "Build me a simple reading tracker with a clean mobile layout." The AI might generate a first version. You run it and notice the button looks wrong. So you say, "Make the button larger and add a weekly streak." Then an error appears. You paste the error back in and the AI suggests a fix. The work becomes a loop. That loop is the heart of vibe coding. You are not only asking for code, you are testing, reacting, and describing the next change. The AI is doing the heavy lifting, but the human is still choosing what matters and deciding whether the result is good enough. Vibe coding is different from traditional no-code tools. No-code usually gives you buttons, templates, and visual building blocks. Vibe coding gives you a conversation with a model that can create real source code. That code may be hidden, visible, messy, useful, or all of those at once. It is also different from traditional programming. A programmer normally thinks through the exact instructions a computer should follow. A vibe coder often describes the desired outcome first. The model guesses the implementation, and the human judges the behavior. The attention shifts from writing every line to directing the system. People sometimes say English is becoming a programming language. That is a helpful shortcut, but it is not literally true. English is fuzzy. Computers need exact instructions. AI sits in the middle, translating human intention into structured code, while making guesses that can be impressive or wrong. Vibe coding feels magical because it compresses the boring first steps. A blank project can become a working demo in minutes. That is especially powerful for founders, students, designers, and curious people who know what they want but do not yet know how software is built. If you like simple explanations of AI trends without the hype fog, consider subscribing. This channel is about understanding new technology clearly so you can use it better, question it better, and spot the difference between a useful tool and a shiny distraction. The strongest case for vibe coding is the prototype. A prototype is not the final product. It is a rough model that lets you see the idea, click around, and decide if it is worth building seriously. For prototypes, speed can be more valuable than perfect structure. Say a teacher wants a quiz generator for one class. A vibe-coded prototype might create a form, a few sample questions, and a simple results page. That could be enough to test the idea. It does not need payment systems, user permissions, or long-term maintenance yet. The danger begins when a prototype is treated like a real product. A real product needs reliability, security, backups, error handling, accessibility, privacy, and a plan for what happens when users do unexpected things. These are not decorative extras. They are part of the software. A vibe-coded app can look finished while hiding weak foundations. It may work for one happy path, where the user does exactly what you expected. But real users mistype, refresh pages, upload strange files, lose internet, and click things in surprising orders. Think of it like opening a pop-up food stand. A quick test booth can prove that people like the menu, but a real restaurant needs plumbing, permits, food safety, staff training, storage, and accounting. Software has its own version of all those invisible systems. Beginners often get stuck when the AI-generated project becomes too complex to understand. At first, every fix is one prompt away. Later, one change breaks another file. The model may suggest patches that stack on top of patches, until nobody knows why the app works. Debugging is where vibe coding gets real. When something fails, you need to know what the program was supposed to do, what it actually did, and where the difference started. AI can help with that, but it cannot remove the need for careful thinking. Security is another major concern. An app might accidentally expose private data, trust unsafe user input, or include a dependency with known problems. The scary part is that the app may still look normal. A beginner may not notice the risk until after the project is public. There is also an ownership question, not just legal ownership, but practical ownership. If you ship something, can you explain how it works? Can you fix it when it breaks? Can you safely change it 6 months later? If the answer is no, the AI is not your only dependency. The best version of vibe coding is not mindless. It is a disciplined conversation. You ask for small changes, you read summaries, you run tests, you keep backups, you avoid giving secrets to tools you do not trust. You treat the AI like a powerful junior teammate, not a magic oracle. One practical habit is to make smaller requests. Instead of asking for a whole business app at once, ask for the login screen, then the data model, then the dashboard. Smaller steps are easier to review, easier to test, and easier to undo when the AI goes in the wrong direction. Another habit is to describe the goal before the code. Tell the AI who the user is, what they are trying to do, and what should happen when things go wrong. Good software is not only code that runs, it is code that matches a real use case. If you are learning, do not only ask the AI to fix things, ask it to explain what it changed in plain English. Ask which files matter. Ask what could break. This turns vibe coding from a guessing game into a guided lesson, even if you still need to verify the answers. Tests are a powerful guardrail. A test is a small check that confirms the app still behaves as expected. You can ask the AI to write simple tests, then run them after each change. Tests do not guarantee perfection, but they make invisible problems easier to catch. The phrase vibe coding can sound like the human disappears. In reality, the human role changes. You become the product thinker, reviewer, tester, and risk manager. The less code you personally write, the more important your judgment becomes. Professional developers are not becoming useless just because AI can write code. In many teams, their value shifts toward architecture, review, security, performance, and choosing the right trade-offs. The harder the product, the more those skills matter. At the same time, beginners have a real opportunity. Vibe coding can make programming less intimidating. You can build something small, see immediate results, and learn by asking why it works. That fast feedback can turn curiosity into momentum. The trap is thinking that fast output equals deep understanding. It does not. You can generate an app without understanding databases, permissions, or error handling. That may be fine for a toy project. It becomes risky when real users, real money, or real data are involved. Good first projects are personal and low risk. Build a habit tracker, a study planner, a recipe sorter, or a small calculator. Avoid projects that handle medical decisions, financial decisions, private customer data, or anything where a bug could seriously harm someone. AI models are trained to predict useful answers, but they do not truly understand your life, your company, or your users the way you do. They may assume the wrong rules. They may choose outdated patterns. They may give confident answers that need checking. So a balanced definition might be this. Vibe coding is a conversational way to create software, where a human describes intent and an AI generates much of the code. It is strongest for exploration and prototypes, and it needs serious review before becoming production software. The future is probably not everyone blindly shipping AI-written apps. It is more likely that software work becomes more conversational, with stronger tools for testing, review, security, and deployment. The vibe may stay, but the discipline around it will have to grow. Vibe coding matters because it lowers the barrier between an idea and a working demo. That is a big deal. But the closer your demo gets to a real product, the more you need engineering habits. Speed starts the journey. Understanding keeps it from falling apart. Now I want to hear from you. Would you use vibe coding to build a small personal app? Or does the risk make you nervous? Drop your questions in the comments and suggest the next AI or future tech topic you want explained in plain English.